Loni Love talks about her life and the lessons she's learned along the way in her new book, I Tried to Change So You Don't Have to. Please welcome Loni Love. Good morning, Loni Love.
Good morning, Queen Whoopi, the magnificent Joy, the fearless Megan, and the classy Sunny. Hello, ladies.
Good morning.
Good morning. You know what? I'm just trying not to. I'm just trying to just be calm, Whoopi, because I'm just ecstatic. So thank you for this moment.
Oh, well, we're glad to have you. So you just gave the commencement speech for your school, Cass Tech, right? The high school, your alma mater in Detroit. We're in crazy times now. What did you tell them?
You know, I just tried not to suck, because I know that it's a bad time for them. They didn't get a prom, they didn't get a commencement, and so I just had my little video, and I tried not to make it look like a hostage video, but the lighting wasn't right, but the message was there, and the heart was there, and it was well received, and I basically told them that, you know, in life things happen, and you have to make adjustments, and it was well received. I was happy to go back to my town, and I hope to be able to go back in person and see all the students. And congratulations, Cass Tech. 520 of you made it through a pandemic. It's a great thing.
That's right.
Sunny.
Well, during quarantine, you've had, Loni, some great conversations on your Instagram Live, including ones about Black Lives Matter and George Floyd. And we've been talking about the Black Lives Matter movement and stories tragically similar to Mr. Floyd's for far too long here on The View. But the reaction the nation is having now feels different to me. Do you think we might see some real change this time?
Well, you know what, Sonny? I believe that. Look at, you just had Bubba Wallace on. And look at the change that one person like Bubba speaking up can do. And the protesting, the young people, I want to say thank you to all of the grassroots activists, because they are actually making changes. They're making people stand up and see what is actually happening. And the protesting is good, but voting is really going to make lasting changes. So I am part of a great organization called When We All Vote. It's co-chaired by Michelle Obama and great people like Tom Hanks and Shonda Rhimes. And what we're trying to do is make sure that every American has their right to have a fair vote. What you see happening, like what happened last week in Georgia with the long lines, that's just preposterous, and we don't need to have that. So as all Americans, if we want to make lasting change, we have to make voting fair and legal for all Americans, and that will help to make the change. But I'm proud of this country. I think people are starting to listen, and that's why you feel that difference that you see. And it's because people are really starting to be aware that we're not just talking. You know, Black folks are not just complaining, it's actually happening. And when you saw on tape George Floyd lose his life and call out for his mama, oh, that made people really do a wake-up call and say, well, maybe things are really happening.
Yeah, I agree. And you know, in your new book, which, by the way, is just fantastic. It really takes you through all the moments of your life. You write about a night in college when you and a friend were arrested, and she was caught stealing the soda, and you tried to stand up for her. And you say, growing up, the effects of racism were all around me, but I didn't feel racism slap me in the face until that night. Would you talk about what you write about?
Definitely. I grew up in the Brewster Projects, and even though I grew up in the projects, the police was never, it was never like the community policing or anything like that. So, and I never got a talk from my mother about how to conduct myself with the cops. So when I was in college, I was about 19 years old. Me and my friend, we had just got off of work doing our little grocery store clerk, and then we went to the club, and then we went and got something to eat. And there was a cafeteria-style restaurant that we went to, and I turned and I looked and I just saw this big, huge cop grabbing her. And I was like, that's my ride. Where is he taking her? He took her in the kitchen, so I followed her. And immediately he's handcuffing her, he's yelling, he's cussing, and then he looks at me and he says, "You're arrested too." And I was like, well, first of all, what is she arrested for? He said, "She put soda in a water cup." And I was like, "Are you serious?" And he said, "You're arrested." And I said, "What am I arrested for?" He said, "For trespassing." I said, "For trespassing?" He said, "Yeah, you stepped in the kitchen." Now, hindsight, when I look back, I'm glad that I went with her because he handcuffed us. He called some other cops. There were 2 mean cops, and it's like I can think about it. I'm thinking about it like when I was 19, how scary it was. And I'm glad I was with her because what if she had went alone? I don't know where they would have taken her. So of course I'm the big girl, so I'm up here cussing and fussing and everything. And they took us straight to the booking agent, the booking place, and once we got booked, it just opened my eyes because one, she was under a petty crime, which was a misdemeanor. Because I was trespassing, it was called a felony. So they put her in the misdemeanor section. They put me in the section with all the murderers and the rapists and people like that. And I'm 19 years old with my club clothes on. So I write all about it in the book. I talk about it. But the thing is, you know, when you get to the bare bones of it, if we were 2 white girls, 19 years old, and that would have happened, I'm pretty sure he would have said either pay for the soda or don't do that. And what people have to realize is that that could have changed my life. Because I had to scrape up bail. I'm still in college with no money. My friend, she didn't have anybody to help her out. Thank goodness I had my sorority sisters to help bail me out and get the money. She had to call her parents. She was in jail for like 2 days. That changes your life. So it's things like that that I talk about that really made me open my eyes to the criminal justice system and how unfair it is. And all black people are asking for in this country is to be treated equally. That's all we're asking for. And that's what you're seeing is with the change. And that's what this book is about. This book is trying to give hope to people and give inspiration and a few laughs as well. But it's a very devastating experience. And that happened 20 years ago. It's still happening today. So we have to keep talking about it. We have to keep protesting and demanding change and fairness in the criminal justice system.
Well, Loni, that's a horrific story. I have a question for you, but I also just want to say I'm a big fan of The Real and all the work that all of you ladies do every day. This is a rough gig doing daytime talk every day, and I'm such a big fan of all the work all of you guys do. But we have a question. So your book obviously is incredibly compelling, and you just told that story. But what is the biggest lesson that you took away from your book that you would like, everyone watching in America to know right now?
I want everybody in America to know that this is a book that's going to give you, in these times, we need hope. This is a book about hope, and it's an American story. It's my American story, and that's what I want people to understand. Please start journaling. All of you out there, you have to tell your story. This is my story. So get a journal, write down, we're living in historic times. Understand that this is my story, and it's about hope.
Wonderful.
Well, Loni, thank you for coming to The View. So our thanks to Loni Love. She's hosting the virtual Essence Festival of Culture, June 27th and July 4th. Her book, I Tried to Change So You Don't Have to, is available today.